Hi, my name is Megan Reinica. I'm a Senior Usability Specialist here at Macadamian Technologies.
And I'm Anthony Hooper, a Development Manager here at Macadamian Technologies.
So we're here to talk to you today about answering the question, why go mobile? Why bring your product or service to the mobile space? And design considerations that you should be taking into account in regards to the hardware and the devices that you choose for your mobile application.
And we're going to be doing that by comparing the iPhone, Android devices, and up-and-comer, in our opinion, Windows Phone 7. We've put together a series of Android, Windows Phone, and iPhone, some of the more popular platforms, with an up-and-comer with Windows Phone that's recently released. So a little bit of a maybe confusion or not sure what this impact has on the market, whereas these ones have been around for a while.
Why am I bringing this to the mobile handset? What is my user ultimately benefiting from having this accessible on a mobile device? What are they doing on a mobile device versus on a desktop? So those are things that you really want to consider in parallel, is the initial value add, the initial bonus that you're getting from a mobility, as well as, what's the hardware that I'm working with? Understanding your end users, what they really are expecting, what are their goals, what's going on, and why would they want to use this particular product or service in a mobile environment. Understanding the business case and supporting your end users on any kind of handset is really the very first thing that you want to get right. Any iPhone app is locked into its own hardware. Over here on the Android platform, you can have Android in various types of handsets. So there's nothing that is forced or sort of locked into the Android experience in terms of the hardware. Windows phones are sort of a hybrid where it can be available on different types of handsets. One of the very first things that you want to know when you're embarking on any kind of design, what hard keys are we working with, soft keys only. You can see that the hard keys are the same. And there are there's a camera button that has to be a hard key on all Windows phones, and some things that are forced to be consistent.
Android's a little bit like the Wild West. Like, it's completely open.
Yeah, it's very open.
And we look at this Motorola Charm, where it's obviously running Android. It's running 2.1, so one of the more later, the later versions, obviously. And it's got this interesting looking UI. But it's also got this neat little touchscreen on the back.
So your finger is now behind the screen.
Yeah, it's now behind the screen, doing the same thing that it can do in front of the screen. Like, if we look at the Desire has the whole concept of a cursor right here that you can use. We look at the Motorola, which is one of the more sort of older ones. They have the concept of a D-pad. So the D-pad is the same thing. And we have the D-pad, the optical sensor, and this crazy little key thing. So obviously, when you're talking about the hardware, we look at Android alone, and it's quite diverse.
The flexibility of Android can be very powerful. You have pretty much anything open to you. What's important to consider is the customization for each one of the handsets.
Testing's a big impact here. I mean, you have to choose your market and choose which one you want to actually deploy onto. I mean, if you choose to build a product specifically for the Charm, you have to really take into consideration the back touchscreen. Now, over here we have hundreds of form factors. Here right now there's only 10 different form factors, and over here we have one with maybe its predecessor. You have the 3 and the 3GS, and even technically the original iPhone. But what you do is you really target for the latest and greatest, and you have a single form factor.
Thanks for joining us today. We answered the question for you, why bring your product or service to the mobile space, by understanding why go mobile. What's the value for your users?
And then we showed you a couple devices and platforms, more specifically Android, the openness of it, the slightly more constrained environment that is Windows Phone 7, and the lockdown environment that is iOS or Apple iPhone.